Good evening, friends. Welcome to Python Digital Mastery. So today topic, friends, like we are going to discuss about like how we are going to deal with the 2C strategy. So 2C strategy is nothing but how we are going to learn any concept in Python by using a 2C strategy, which is nothing but how we are going to compare each and every aspect and how we are going to categorize. So today I'm going to explain about like one of the main concept called as a data types. So by using the data types, how I am going to compare and categorize so that you are going to understand each and every aspect related to the Python data types. Okay, I will take one of the example and I'm going to share you, friends. Okay, yeah, let me share my screen before going to that. So now, as I said, like I'm going to explain about like how we are going to categorize and compare each and every data type. So the aspect over is like, friends, how we are going to represent and how we are going to do the single represent and as well as empty representation of an elements, and as well as like how it is going to support the duplicates and mutability, indexing, slicing, and conversion methods for with respect to each and every data type, friends. Okay, with respect to each and every data type, today I'm going to explain. So before like going into the coding, I will be taking one of the example like in duplicates. So with respect to the duplicates, I'm going to show how each and every data type is going to support. Okay, so this is a single representation. Like a singleton representation is something like a single element we can represent like this, friends. Like I mean to say, like single element, like we can represent like a 10 or 9.9, which is a decimal value. The boolean is something like a true or false, and single element something like a single character, and as well as like a list we can represent with respect to the single element, and as well as the tuple with respect to the single element. And also we can represent like a representation as well, like a integer, float, boolean. We can take an example like any real-time example, something like a course. Okay, something like a course which I want to take as a real-time example. I'm going to show you, friends. Like that is something like which I'm talking about is. So let's take up is something like an example is like a course ID. Course ID is nothing but an integer which we can represent it as a course ID is something like a singleton, like I mean to say like uh, which is a numerical data type. And course name is something like we can represent it as a like a string data type, which can be represented like a string, which is something like a Python Digital Mastery Advanced is something advanced, or a basic we can represent as a single quote or double quote. And course list is something like we can represent it as a list of like elements, like course elements I can represent in the form of a list. Okay, and at the same time like a batch set which can be represented as a multiple batches I can represent it as a batch set, and followed by the tuple, which is something like cannot be changed, the value cannot be changed. So the value is related to something like an organization or a like something like a campaign which I've taken as a like institute tuple, okay, as an example. And course dictionary, which is in detail we can describe the course dictionary something like a course key and value. If you want to know in detail about the courses, you can represent with respect to the course ID and course name, that can be represented as a dictionary, friends. Okay, that can be represented as a dictionary. So here institute tuple is represented as a tuple, and course list which I have informed like course list which can be represented as a list, and a course name which can be represented as a course string. Okay, and finally the batch set I can represented as a set. And final by if somebody wants to enroll the course, like we can represent it as a is enroll is the variable which can be represented as a boolean, which is a true, friends. And somebody is certified, somebody who is not certified, we can be represented as a false. Okay, which can be represented as a false with respect to the boolean data type. And somebody whose score is who has completed the course and who has scored is something like 9.8 or 9.9, that can be represented as a float data type. So this is something like a representation, friends, which we can which by using this like a, as I said, like by comparison and categorization table, I can clearly saying that what is the representation and what is the empty representation for each and every data type. And at the same time, how the singleton, the single element representation, how it is happening with respect to the each and every data type, we can see by seeing this table. You can glance it straight away in one single shot, friends. This makes you learn and you can memorize, or it can be useful for you to categorize and compare it so that the brain takes this this kind of representation is the best way, friends. Okay. So at the same time, like final thing which I want to say is allow duplicates. So what are all the data types which allow the duplicates? By seeing this table straight away, you can say like a string, list, and tuple, and followed by the dictionary is able to, like, it can allow the duplicates. Other than that, they are not going to allow the duplicates. Duplicates is not with respect to element, with not respect to the single element, friends. I'm talking about I'm talking about a single, I'm talking about the elements present in the, like, a given set. Okay, so that's why the integer and float I'm not taking the scope. So only string, list, tuple, and dictionary which can be represented, which the duplicates are represented. Okay, even by seeing this table straight away, you can say what are all the data types which allows the indexing and slicing. Straight away, you can say, friends, by seeing this table, string, list, and tuple are supports the indexing and slicing. Other than that, other data types are not going to support. By seeing this table for mutability also, friends, only list, set, and dictionary are supports the mutability, but other than that, which is not going to allow the mutability, friends. I'm going to detail explain in next coming videos, but today we'll take up an example for the mutable. We'll take up the example for the duplicates now. Okay, so I have taken the example for the duplicate, friends. So I've represented the course set is like this is the list of a course set, and at the same time I've represented the list of course list, and as well I've represented something like a course tuple and followed by the course dictionary. So this is something like a courses, friends. We can take it as a courses like B1 to B4. Suppose if you want to represent like just I'm trying to represent in the form of a print statement. This is something like a print statement always takes what, friends? Star arcs. That is nothing but it is going to take up by syntactically, it is going to take up like a print of, it is going to take up something like a star arcs. Star arcs are nothing but a multiple positional parameters, multiple positional parameters. So here, like, I'm going to describe the multiple positional parameters, friends. I'm going to explain in the next coming slides what is mean by the multiple positional parameters and key value arguments. Okay, those are all comes under the functional concepts. Okay, by using a user defined functions. So now I'm representing like a course set, and followed by like whether I want to see whether I've represented the duplicates. See, I'm representing the multiple like duplicate values under the course set, but I could see whether it is going to print it or not, it is going to support or not. Just I'm trying to see that. At the same time, with respect to the list also, I'm trying to see whether it is going to support or not. Okay, I'm trying to give that data as well. At the same time, I'm trying to give another like with respect to the tuple. So the tuple is represented as a curve brackets, and list is like a square brackets, and set will be represented as a like a flower brackets, and dictionary with respect to the key value pair under the like a flower brackets. So at the same time, I'm trying to print each and every data type, and I see like whether it is going to, like, it is going to support or whether it is going to represent the duplicates, whether it is going to print the duplicates or not, which I want to see, friends. Okay, so let's try to see with respect to the duplicates as well. Let me copy the variable. I'm trying to copy that variable, and let's try to run this program, friends, with respect to duplicates. See, friends, so whenever I'm representing the duplicates over here, if you check it out like a with respect to the course list, okay, with respect to the course set, so I have represented here is something like a course set. Here I'm having a duplicate, friends. Two values are duplicates, but when I'm trying to run this program, whenever I'm representing this program as an output, which I'm trying to see here, there is no duplicate with respect to the B3. So I could see only single element is getting print. That means set will not allow the duplicates. At the same time, the course list which I have represented here is also duplicate, friends. With respect to the course list, I could see the two elements are represented. That means it is going to allow the duplicates. That list is going to allow the duplicates. If you see the same example with respect to the tuple, okay, if you see the tuple with respect to the tuple also have represented the duplicates, and the same thing like these two duplicates are getting represented with respect to the tuple as well. And at the same time, if you see the dictionary, friends, so dictionary have represented duplicate values. Okay, I have represented duplicate values and also have represented the duplicate keys. But with respect to the dictionary, I don't see the duplicate keys. Okay, I don't see the duplicate keys. But in spite of keys, it doesn't show us the duplicate, but the values are getting represented, friends. That means always the dictionary will going to allow the duplicate values, but it will not going to allow the duplicate keys. What internally is happening, friends, like this is the pair, like a key value pair, and this is also key value pair. This is something like a same key. C1 and C1 are the same keys. So what exactly is happening? The C1 with the first key value pair is getting overridden with the second key value pair. So because of that, the second key value pair is actually getting represented, because always the updated key value pair will going to represented in the form of an output, friend. So it is getting overridden. So finally, that's why you are able to see it is not going to allow the duplicate keys. That's why only single key of C1 is represented, and C2, C3 is already there. But though C2, C3 is having a duplicate value, still the duplicate values are getting printed or represented, friends. So that makes finally I could say like only set is going to allow the duplicates. Other than that, dictionary, tuple, and list is not going to allow the duplicates. Though dictionary keys are not going to allow the duplicates, but always values are going to allow the duplicates. That's why in turn I'm representing like course dictionary is going to allow the duplicates. So that's why finally we could see that the duplicates are being allowed by string, which we have already shown you with respect to the string. So it is going to allow the string, list, and tuple. At the same time, dictionary is also going to allow the friends. Okay. So this makes like categorization and comparison. If you want to follow the conversion method also, if you want to convert one data type to another data type, we can use this conversion method, friends, which is something like a function of object. We can call it as a function of object, which I'm going to explain later part. So see, friends, like it is something like always Python is something like a logical representation and logical concepts. So you have to take a time, at least 1 hour per day, and you have to practice the each and every problem, friends. Okay. Whenever you practice each and every problem, once you apply the Python concepts, then only you're going to understand the concepts in a practical way. Okay. So if you want to get more and more videos from myself, friends, I really request you to subscribe this channel. At the same time, click to the below link, friends, like a below bell icon, so that you are going to get whenever I do the new like videos, you are going to be you are going to get those videos. And at the same time, take your small time and click the like button. And at the same time, friends, I want to request you, like, what is your current top challenge to learn Python? What is your current top challenge to learn Python? Please mention 3 problems. Please mention 3 problems in the comment, friends. I'm going to answer them, how we are going to resolve it. As I said, like, friends, I'm Venkatesh Balagiri, Python mentor. I'm going to help you to learn Python in a practical way, with a practical orientation, with a 6-step blueprint, friends. Thank you, friends. We'll see you into the next video next day. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.